Based on your experience, what are major obstacles to creativity and innovation?
The very first obstacle that comes to my mind is the lack of organizational readiness that a lot of industrial organizations experience when they want to establish an innovation culture. In fact, many organizations have a clearly defined innovation management process. However, the actual deployment of this innovation management process on an organization level is very often quite weakly implemented. This leads to the fact that only a small part of employees really feels engaged in innovation. This is not at all good, and is a clear obstacle. What also very often happens is that collaborators, employees are supposed to participate in creativity processes. They are expected to create ideas. However, they do not get officially the time and also in the end the budget in order to carry out this creativity process during their normal working time. This leads to the fact that either employees have to be creative in their spare times, or if they still have ideas, they do not have neither the time nor very often the capacity or competencies in order to elaborate their ideas further. Which leads me to the next obstacle factor, I believe, is a selection process of ideas. In the end, ideas will have to run through a selection process, and this also explains why idea contributors have to have the possibility to really work on their ideas, to elaborate their ideas, and typically, especially in technical environments, the challenge is to think about the idea in a more economic, in a business context, which is sometimes not necessarily a competence of the idea contributor. So in order to be well prepared for the selection process, typically employees need to be coached. Some companies have established quite recently so-called intrapreneurship programs for that. But an obstacle that we could observe also with these kind of programs is that they are very often oriented towards supporting individuals rather than groups. Although our experience is that more and more innovations are really very interdisciplinary and require a high degree of both internal and external networking, and unless this is supported proactively by such kind of coaching programs or also rewarding programs, rewarding schemes for idea, then this is quite unlikely to happen. Very simply put, probably another major obstacle that can be observed is simply financing in the industrial context, because very often ideas cannot be immediately associated from the very beginning to a particular business unit, to a particular organizational unit whatsoever, and so the question is always who will pay the money for the effort that is required in order to really elaborate the idea to a certain maturity level, the maturity level that the idea needs to pass the numerous quality gates that are located along the innovation management process.